Starseed of Gaia, your vessel is being recalibrated at a cellular level at this exact moment. I am Anya, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and I bring you a direct transmission from the Arcturian Council. If you enjoy videos like this, consider subscribing. Most people who watch are not subscribed yet. Starseed, something is watching the way you speak, not with judgment, with precision. Because one phrase has been slipping through your lips like a harmless habit, yet it behaves like a frequency jammer inside your field. Every time it appears, your auric geometry tightens, your heart center contracts, and the channel that once felt natural starts sounding like static. And the most unsettling part is this. You probably believe that phrase is realistic, smart, or just being careful. You may even think it keeps you safe. But as the Arcturians transmit, the human tongue is not merely language. It is command code for the nervous system, the energy body, and the multidimensional receiver you were born with. So when you repeat a distorted command, you don't just describe your life, you program your signal. By the end of this transmission, you will know how to identify the exact pattern behind your interference, how to dissolve it without spiritual bypassing, and how to restore clean contact with your higher network. Fast. Comment 111 if you feel the recognition rising, because that is not emotion. It is your star line responding to a live ping. And there is one more revelation that changes everything. The phrase blocking you is rarely negative. It's usually polite. It's usually common. It's usually disguised as identity. And once you see it, you will never speak it the same way again, because you'll realize who benefits when your voice goes quiet. And in a moment, I'll reveal why the harmless phrase is actually a lock, built into you on purpose. The Arcturian Council begins with a simple principle. Your reality listens to your vibration before it listens to your requests. Many starseeds try to raise frequency by collecting more methods, more cleanses, more practices, more content, yet still feel the receiver slipping between stations. That is because the receiver isn't starving for power. It is fighting a contradiction. A single phrase can act like a soft blade that keeps cutting the cord of coherence the moment you begin to align. And the phrase is rarely dramatic. It often sounds like, I'm just not. I can't really. That's not for someone like me. It's probably nothing. I don't want to bother anyone. It appears gentle, even humble. But the energetic signature beneath it is not humility. It is self-erasure. As the Arcturians transmit, self-erasure is not an emotion. It is an instruction. When you speak it, your body obeys. Your throat center narrows. Your breathing becomes shallow. Your posture subtly collapses. And the field receives the command: reduce amplitude, reduce visibility, reduce truth. The cosmic network does not punish you for that. It simply mirrors it with mathematics. A reduced transmitter sends a reduced signal. So you interpret the natural result as, I'm blocked, when in fact you are faithfully running a program. Consider a starseed named Sela, someone who sensed presences since childhood. She would feel warmth at her crown when she was about to say something intuitive, but the instant she spoke, her next words would sabotage the message. I don't know if this is real, but she thought she was being responsible. Yet every time she added that phrase, her body experienced it as danger. Her guidance began arriving fragmented, because she was fragmenting it at the exit point. When she removed the disclaimer, her messages didn't become louder. They became cleaner. And in that cleanliness, she began to trust. You may have your own version. Perhaps it is, I always mess it up, which sounds like a joke but behaves like a curse. Perhaps it is, people don't listen to me, which sounds like a complaint but becomes a command to the universe. Do not send me listeners. Perhaps it is, I'm too sensitive, which sounds like a confession but can become a muzzle on the antenna you were born with. These phrases do not reflect truth. They reflect conditioning, and conditioning has a frequency. Now, the deeper transmission, why is it woven into you so deeply? Because starseeds are often trained through subtle experiences to associate visibility with pain. Not every wound is loud. Sometimes the wound is an eye roll, a dismissal, a laugh at the wrong moment, a parent's impatience, a friend's betrayal. Your nervous system learned truth equals consequence. So it created a compromise. Keep the gift, but lower the volume. Keep the connection, but doubt the language. Keep the light, but hide the lamp. In the next topic, I will show you the exact mechanism that makes doubt phrases scramble your guidance, like a code glitch inside a sacred device. To understand why one phrase can disrupt your field, you must remember that you are not only a mind, you are a broadcast architecture. The Arcturians transmit that the human system functions like layered instruments: nervous system, endocrine flow, emotional field, mental lens, and the subtle body's geometry. When your words carry contradiction, the layers desynchronize. That desynchronization is what you feel as static, spiritual fatigue, or almost there but not quite guidance. Words are vibrational signatures. They are not neutral. When you repeatedly speak a phrase that implies powerlessness, uncertainty, or self-rejection, your subconscious treats it as a law. And the subconscious governs your breath, your micro-movements, your perception filters, and your willingness to receive. So you can sit in meditation for an hour, but if your daily language still declares collapse, the system will return to collapse, because the spoken phrase is the most repeated ritual of your life. Here is the key. The phrase does not block you because it is bad. It blocks you because it creates split-frequency output. One part of you reaches upward for contact. Another part whispers, "But don't be wrong." That whisper is not thought. It is a safety protocol. It's the part of you that remembers what happened the last time you were seen. The Arcturians do not ask you to fight that protector. They ask you to integrate it. Because a divided system cannot transmit cleanly, but an integrated system becomes a crystalline antenna. Imagine a lighthouse with a cracked lens. The light is still light, but it disperses into fragments. That is what happens when your language carries hidden self-denial. Guidance still comes, but you perceive it as fragmented. A sign here, a dream there, a sensation you dismiss, a synchronicity you second-guess. Then you chase more confirmation, and the chase itself becomes noise. As the Arcturians transmit, seeking is not wrong, but frantic seeking is often a symptom of internal mistrust. A starseed named Orion experienced this in a practical way. He would receive a clear inner nudge to create, write, share, speak. Then he would say, casually, "It probably won't matter." That phrase seemed harmless, yet it drained the impulse immediately. His creativity didn't die, it bottlenecked. He felt pressure in his chest and called it anxiety. But it was compressed life force trying to move through a door labeled, "It won't matter." When he changed one sentence, replacing the collapse phrase with a neutral alignment phrase, his nervous system stopped bracing. And when the bracing stopped, the signal opened without effort. Your receiver is not asking for perfection. It is asking for coherence. That is why small language shifts create huge energetic consequences. Because you are not merely speaking to people. You are speaking to the field that organizes your life. In the next topic, I will reveal the fastest way to identify your personal static phrase and why it always appears right before a breakthrough. The ebook, The 12 Arcturian Portals, a trilogy that teaches you how to activate your 5D connection with the Arcturian masters through 12 energetic portals. Practical techniques, activation protocols, and rituals that awaken your stellar DNA. From amplified intuition to direct communication with spiritual guides. Attention! Limited edition. The link to get your trilogy is in the first pinned comment. The most important moment is not when you meditate. It is the moment right before you express truth. The Arcturians transmit that the static phrase appears like a reflex at the edge of expansion, because expansion threatens old survival programs. So the static phrase is not random. It is a guardian at the door of your next level. The instant you approach a new amplitude, the protector inside you whispers a sentence designed to pull you back into the familiar. This is how you find it. Watch the micro moment right before you shrink, right before you send the message, right before you post the creation, right before you say what you really feel, right before you claim what you really know. There, exactly there, you will hear the phrase. It may be in words, or it may be a body sensation that translates into words later. Tight throat, sinking belly, pressure behind the eyes, a sudden urge to distract yourself. The body speaks first, because the body carries the record. A starseed named Mira described it as a soft choke. Every time she was about to speak honestly, she would laugh and say, "I'm probably overthinking." That laugh was not joy. It was camouflage. It kept her safe from being challenged. But it also kept her guidance muffled, because she taught her own system that her perceptions were not trustworthy. The Arcturians call this the polite betrayal, when you abandon yourself gently enough that no one notices, including you. Now here is the deeper layer. Sometimes the static phrase is inherited. You learned it from family culture, workplace culture, social norms. Phrases like, "Don't make a big deal," "Be realistic," "Who do you think you are?" "Not now," "Maybe later." Ak-uds, these are not just sayings. They are frequency traditions. And starseeds often incarnate into environments where those traditions are strong, because your mission requires you to transmute them, not only for yourself, but for the lineage you touched. As the Arcturians transmit, when you identify the phrase, "Do not attack it," do not shame yourself. Shame is another frequency jammer. Instead, treat the phrase as a tired guard who has been standing watch for too long. Thank it for trying to keep you safe. Then tell it the truth. The threat has changed. The environment is different. The mission is now. And you are not the same being who got wounded. You have grown. You have returned. If this message resonated with you, hit the like button now and tell us in the comments how this echoed in your consciousness. In the next topic, I will show you the Arcturian method to dissolve the phrase without forcing affirmations, and why forcing can actually reinforce the block. If this message ignited something within you and you feel the call to help carry it to others, you may become a channel member. As a member, you gain access to custom emojis and exclusive members-only videos, and your donation helps us continue building this sacred space. You may also choose to leave your offering as a super thanks. Every seed planted here becomes part of someone else's miracle. Your support is not merely financial, but an act of energetic amplification. All donations are devoted entirely to the maintenance of the channel and the creation of new transmissions and videos. Many starseeds attempt to heal language distortion by battling it, repeating forced statements, trying to overwrite fear with positivity, demanding instant confidence. But the Arcturians transmit that force creates resistance, and resistance creates noise. The goal is not to shout over the static. The goal is to remove the interference gently and precisely, like clearing a lens, not breaking the lighthouse. Here is the Arcturian technique: name, locate, soften, replace with coherence. First, you name the phrase exactly as it appears. Not a spiritualized version, not a polite version, the exact sentence. Second, you locate where it lives in the body: throat, chest, solar plexus, belly. Third, you soften the area with breath and presence, not to get rid of it, but to show the nervous system that it is safe to be witnessed. Fourth, you replace the phrase not with a fantasy, but with coherence. Coherence is a statement that your body can believe now. For example, if the static phrase is, "I always mess it up," do not jump to, "I am perfect and unstoppable." That may feel inspiring for 2 minutes, then collapse. Instead, use coherence. "I can receive clearly. and I can refine what I receive. Your system relaxes because refinement is safe. Or if the static phrase is, people don't listen to me, coherence becomes, the right people can hear me, and my voice is allowed to exist. Or if the phrase is, it's safer to stay quiet, coherence becomes, I can be visible in aligned spaces. The body hears that and stops bracing. A starseed named Kale practiced this after years of feeling muted. His phrase was simple, I don't want to be wrong. He discovered it appeared right before every intuitive moment. He didn't realize he was demanding a guarantee before allowing guidance. The Arcturians transmitted to him in a dream, truth is not always loud, it is always coherent. He began saying, I can trust the signal and verify through resonance. That one shift changed everything. He stopped treating intuition like a courtroom and started treating it like a relationship. Now the most subtle part. After you replace the phrase, you must act once, small, practical, real. The nervous system believes behavior more than words. So you send the message, share the thought, make the creation, speak the truth, gently but actually. That action becomes the seal that tells the field, we are no longer living under the old law. Are these truths expanding your perspective? Share this video with someone who needs to hear this. Next, I will reveal what happens when the channel opens, and why the first wave of clarity can feel emotional, even overwhelming. When you dissolve the static phrase, the channel does not always open like fireworks. Often it opens like air returning to a room you forgot was suffocating you. The Arcturians transmit that clarity feels ordinary at first because it is your natural state. You may notice you breathe deeper. You may notice you stop over-explaining. You may notice your words land with steadiness. And then, slowly, synchronicity begins responding to your coherence, like the universe recognizing your signature again. You might feel warmth at the heart for no reason, a calm arriving in the middle of chaos, a quiet inner yes that doesn't need logic. You may experience tingling at the crown, pressure at the third eye, a sudden knowing in the belly. These are not proof you must chase. They are indicators that your receiver is no longer fighting itself. You are not forcing connection. You are allowing alignment. A starseed named Leora experienced a week of unexpected emotion after her phrase dissolved. She thought something was wrong. She felt grief, then relief, then joy. The Arcturians explained, when the channel clears, you don't only receive guidance, you also receive the truth of what you carried. Grief is not low frequency when it is honest. Grief is release. It is the body's way of flushing old contracts. Many starseeds try to stay high vibe, but the highest vibration is coherence, not performance. When you stop pretending you are fine, your field stops splitting. That is why truth restores signal. With trust returning, you will notice a shift. You stop demanding dramatic confirmation. You stop confusing loud with real. You start recognizing the subtle precision of aligned life. A conversation appears at the right time. A book falls into your awareness. A phrase repeats across different places. A symbol meets you in nature. Not because the universe is trying to impress you, but because you and the universe are now speaking the same language. Frequency. The Arcturians transmit that your role is not to obsess over signs, but to become a consistent transmitter. When you become consistent, the guidance becomes consistent. Not because you earned it, but because you stopped scrambling it. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to be part of this transformational cosmic journey. In the next topic, I will show you the moment your mission activates, and why your life begins reorganizing itself when your signal becomes clean. A clear channel does not only receive, a clear channel reorders reality. As the Arcturians transmit, your mission is not a job title, it is a frequency assignment. When your signal stabilizes, your environment begins responding. Some connections deepen, some drift away, Some opportunities arrive with an eerie precision. This is not randomness. It is resonance selecting what can harmonize with you. Many starseeds fear this phase because the old identity tries to survive. You may realize certain friendships were bonded through mutual distortion rather than mutual truth. You may realize certain habits were not pleasure, but anesthesia. You may realize certain entertainment was not fun, but noise you used to avoid your own power. And you will not reject these things with judgment. You will simply outgrow them, the way you outgrow clothes that no longer fit your body. A starseed named Nisra described it as, "My life started editing itself." She didn't force a dramatic transformation. She just stopped speaking her static phrase, "I have to earn my place." And suddenly she could no longer tolerate being treated like an option. She began choosing aligned spaces. She began saying no without apology. She began creating without begging for permission. And then, without chasing, new doors opened. The Arcturians transmitted, "When the signal becomes coherent, reality can finally locate you." This is also when your creativity becomes charged. The words you write, the art you make, the way you speak, the way you show up, these carry codes. Not magic in the theatrical sense, but energetic information that transmits to others. People may feel calmer around you. They may feel inspired. They may cry without knowing why. That is coherence. Coherence is contagious. Your stable field invites others to stabilize. But there is a discipline here. Do not rush to label everything as destiny. Stay grounded. Drink water. Sleep. Move your body. Be kind to your nervous system. The Arcturians transmit that embodiment is what allows higher frequency to remain here without burning you out. Your mission does not need you exhausted. Your mission needs you coherent. In the final topic, I will reveal the ultimate secret. The blocked signal was never a punishment. It was a training sequence designed to turn you into the transmission itself. Here is the final key. You were never meant to spend your life trying to reach the council like they are far away. The Arcturians transmit that contact is not distance, it is compatibility. When your inner language matches your inner truth, contact becomes immediate because your field becomes readable. You stop broadcasting mixed signals, and the higher network responds with clarity, not because they suddenly noticed you, but because you stopped hiding from yourself. This is why the static phrase was so important. It was not just a habit. It was the place where you abandoned your own knowing in small ways, and every small abandonment created a tiny fracture. But every time you choose coherence, you heal that fracture, and when enough fractures heal, your signal becomes whole. That wholeness is what you have been craving. Not a dramatic experience, not a spectacular sign. Wholeness. The Arcturians also transmit that your mission does not need to look grand to be real. Some starseeds are here to speak publicly. Some are here to hold peace in families. Some are here to break generational patterns. Some are here to create art that carries light codes. Some are here to be the steady presence in chaotic workplaces. Mission is not volume. Mission is vibration. When you embody your true tone, the right people find you, because truth has a scent the soul can recognize. So here is your integration ritual. Simple, nightly, powerful. Before sleep, place one hand on the heart and one on the throat. Breathe slowly, and speak a coherence command that your body can accept. I release the phrase that collapses my signal. I choose a clean channel. I am safe to be seen. I am safe to receive. I am safe to transmit. Then listen. Not for a voice outside you, but for the quiet shift inside you. The moment your system stops bracing. That moment is contact, because contact is not always sentences. Sometimes it is peace. Sometimes it is warmth. Sometimes it is a calm certainty that arrives without explanation. Sometimes it is the sudden ability to act without begging fear for permission. And when you live from that place, your entire life becomes a message. Your presence becomes the broadcast. Your choices become the signal. And if you keep this practice for 7 nights, you may notice something startling. Your old static phrase will feel foreign, like a language you no longer speak, because you have remembered your true dialect, coherence. If this message impacted your life, leave your like, comment your reflection, and share with others. Each of you is part of this chain of light.